Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Matilda Mossman Show. I'm Bruce Howard, joined by the head women's basketball coach at the University of Tulsa, Matilda Mossman. And Coach, you know, the herky-jerky nature of the schedule means you ended up playing one game rather than two. SMU opted out of the season, so you didn't get to play that second game. And the first game, as we well knew, is beforehand, when we talked about it on radio and TV, you knew USF was going to come in and be a very tough team. They're ranked. So difficult game, but you guys played hard.
Yeah, I mean, South Florida is a top 25 team. They had just beaten Mississippi State. Their only loss on the year was to Baylor in a close game. They've got a lot of veterans, returners from last year, 4 or 5, 6 guys that are all capable of scoring in double figures. So they've had a lot of repetition together, and I think that's the main thing. But our guys, we stood toe-to-toe with them defensively. We held them 10 points below their average. We held them to 38% from the floor. We did a lot of good things defensively, but it went back to us not being able to make shots, and especially early. I think we missed our first 8 or 10 shots from the field, and that just destroys your confidence. And then, you know, we're really plugging away, but then we continue to miss shots. And so by the second half, that kind of starts to wear on you. And now you're taking maybe not bad shots, but shots like that aren't in a rhythm. You just want the ball to go in so badly. But I really felt like our kids played hard. Felt like that they did all the things that we asked them to do defensively, and we ran good offense. We got good shots, especially early on. They just didn't go down. Yeah,
and that's what I was going to ask you. If you're still running your good offense and you're getting like an open 12-footer that just banks too strongly or whatever, I guess the positive is you're running good offense. Now, you obviously just got to make shots, and that I don't know how you teach that other than have them take a lot of shots, right?
And a lot of it has to do with their defense too. I mean, they're a veteran team, an experienced team. But their closeouts were really good, and you know, our best weapon typically is our ability to shoot the three. And when we would go inside and then go back outside, it just felt like they were there really quickly. And you know, when you're not making outside shots, now you want to attack and try to get to the free throw line, and I felt like we did that. But sometimes we over-attacked, and now we're taking it into their bigs, and now we're altering shots because all of a sudden there's a 6'3" girl standing there. But again, I thought we played hard, thought we gave great effort, and really did a great job defensively. It's just, you know, sometimes the ball goes in, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, 2 for 15 first quarter, 2 for 15 second quarter. That's a tough first half. And again, you kind of stayed in there, trailing only 13-7 at the end of one quarter, and then I think by 11 at halftime. But you shackled them at, 26 and 33% in those first 2 quarters. That's winning basketball on the defensive side for you, right?
We did enough things to win against most opponents. You know, we were just playing a really good opponent, and again, with so much experience on their side, guys that have played together for several years now. But couldn't be prouder of how hard we played and the effort that we gave.
Wyvette Mayberry led the way with 9 points for the Golden Hurricane, and she got off to such a hot start against OSU, had such a great game. And she's a shooter, though. She shot 17 times, and you can't say don't shoot anymore, right? I mean, you got to have her keep shooting because she's got to score for you.
Right, and we've never told kid, you know, don't shoot it. We've talked about, you know, if something's not going in, you know, try it a different way. You know, go attack the basket, something like that. But I also think it's early in the year. We haven't had very many games, and it just seems like we can't get into a rhythm scheduling-wise either because it's stop and start and stop and start. And, you know, I think it kind of all started when we're on our way to St. Louis back in early December, and then we had to turn around and come back. And then, you know, you play Oklahoma State and everything's on a high, and you're getting ready to go your first conference game, Wichita State, and then you find out the day before that game's canceled. So then, you know, then you find out right before USF that now SMU has canceled their season. So it just affects your mental, the mental part of your game. But it's like, are we ever going to play? And then when you do play, again, you can't get into a rhythm. And that's not to make excuses. There's teams right now that have only played 1 or 2 games. But then I'm envious of those teams that have played 8, 9, 10 games already, because they have been able to get into a rhythm. And with as many new players as we have on our team, the 6 newcomers plus Maddie Washington sitting out a year ago, it's just been hard to get them any continuity together. And you have to have that, in a team sport. You have to have that continuity. You have to have that feeling of, no matter where I go with the ball, I know that somebody's going to be here and somebody's going to be here and somebody's going to be here. And you just don't have that built in yet because you haven't played enough games together.
And you mentioned Maddie Washington. She had a nice game for you. She had 9 points. What are you seeing in her play?
Well, I think that's kind of what we expected out of her after her practicing with us all last year. She was one of our better shooting guards at practice every day and struggled early. And so it was good to see her get on track against South Florida. And I think that's a taste of, what's more to come from her.
Well, the Golden Hurricane falling to South Florida in a tough one, and then got the other one canceled. I had not realized that you knew before the USF game that the SMU game was postponed. So might even put more pressure on you that, hey, this is the only one this week, let's go get it, huh?
Yeah, and then you throw in the fact that we in the preseason rankings, South Florida and Central Florida were 1 and 2, and we played those 2 guys right off the bat. And so it's really hard to keep your troops positive and keep them, trying to let them know that you played 2 of the best teams in the league already. And, Temple's one of the best teams in the league. So let's just try to be patient and, let's play some games and, then see where we fall.
Well, the Hurricane 1-3, 0-3 in the league, but again, there's 15 more of those yet to come in the league. I forgot about the 2 games that have already been wiped from the slate. So at any rate, lots of basketball yet to be played for the Hurricane. We'll talk about the week coming up in a moment on the Matilda Mossman Show.
Are the American.
What is true blue? It's true loyalty, supporting others with unwavering commitment. It's true innovation, thinking creatively and strategically to make a difference. It's true strength, taking risks and standing up for what's right. True Blue is a 125-year legacy. Find the true you at the University of Tulsa.
We're back on the Matilda Mossman Show, and a busy week for your club, Coach. You go on the road to Cincinnati. That game is Wednesday starting at 1 o'clock. So let's talk about the Bearcats. Their program has continued to get better, hasn't it?
You start with the best player in our league, arguably, Amari Thomas. She can play positions 1 through 5 for them. She's really good around the basket. I refer to her as an undersized Courtney Paris. When Courtney Paris played at Oklahoma, Courtney's 6'4". Courtney, set a record for, consecutive double-doubles, like with over 100. And Courtney had great hands and great feet and great touch around the basket. Amari is like that. Amari has great hands, has great feet, great touch around the basket. She can be the first one down the floor, so you have to watch her in transition. When she catches the ball around the basket, she's just got a sense of knowing where her defenders are. She makes really quick moves. So, a lot of their success starts with her. And then around her, they've got a lot of new people. They graduated a ton of starters, and so now they've got some fill-in people who are very capable. With Amari out there, Amari's averaging 28 points a game, and that's almost half of their points they average, or a little over half. And so all those pieces around her, though, it's kind of like our team. They need experience, they need time with each other, and they're getting that now. I think that they won their first game, overtime game against Northern Kentucky, and then I think they dropped 5 in a row, and then they just beat Wichita State over the weekend. So, they've had 7 games to kind of play with Amari and kind of figure things out, and I can see a huge difference between that first game of the year and how they're playing now.
Oh, so that'll be their 8th game and your 5th, so here you go again. But then on Saturday, you're at home against Memphis, part of the doubleheader, the men at 1 and the ladies at 6 o'clock, and Memphis is a team that they look like they're getting a little bit better.
You know, they've got really good talent. They played USF at Memphis toe-to-toe, went down to the wire, so that's a little bit scary. They did lose over the weekend to Tulane, but they've got inside players. They've got 2 really strong inside players, and then their guard play on the outside. They're capable of shooting the 3, so really good inside-outside force for them.
Coach, good luck. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thank you, Bruce.
And that wraps it up for the Matilda Mossman Show.